Hello and welcome to The Handshake here, New Vision TV with me, Lynn Komjisha. I'm joined by Paul Busharezi. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
The infrastructure pullout, Monday, there's the oil and gas. Those pullouts are very interesting and they come out every Monday and Tuesday. Now,
in the New Vision.
In the New Vision, of course, yes. So, they're talking about Uganda's economy to double by 2025.
Yeah, I mean,
courtesy of oil and gas, of course.
True. An African Development Bank report has just come out, and its report on Uganda says that if oil comes out of the ground, first oil is made in 2020, as is what is planned. Then by 2025, this economy should have doubled, and that, of course, will come from increased exports. That will come with oil, increased revenues that will come with exporting oil, and all the surrounding industries that will have to be created to support this oil production. So it's kind of exciting. Yeah, and they say our GDP is also going to grow to about 70 billion. Yeah. How? I think we are very excited about this whole oil and gas thing. No, actually, there's very good reason to be excited. One, first of all, of course, if you just did a simple calculation that if we are going to do, initially they want to start with 20,000 barrels a day.
Right.
And oil, you don't switch it on and switch it off. You just have to keep pumping and pumping and pumping. So you're going to be 20,000 barrels a day, 365 days of the year. So that means you'll have pumped out of the ground, what, 7.2 million, about 7.3 million barrels in a year. If you just multiply by a simple, let's say $50 a barrel,
right,
you'll have added another $400 million in theory to your export bill. So you can see how the economy.
You're just confusing me with those calculations, but
no,
it's
but
okay.
I think on paper we've done everything right.
Okay.
We've set the laws in place that will govern oil.
You and who?
The government of Uganda, the country, the Uganda. We've set the laws in place.
Right.
We have licensed, I think, quite properly the new blocks, because we've only found oil in about a third of the area that is prospective oil. So we've done our exploration seemingly well. We've set our laws in place. We're working quite diligently to how do you call it, to get good contracts going forward. We kind of haven't we're doing the right thing. Of course, they say what is it, the pudding is in the testing or something. So when the oil starts to finally flow, we'll see whether we are prepared or not.
We seem to have done prepared before it even starts flowing.
I think one of the best things that's happened to our oil is that it has taken such a long time to come out of the ground, because commercial viability of oil was determined in 2006. That's 12 years ago. 12 years, my God.
So
yes, so in that process, we've had time to put our laws in order, to get systems in place that will run this oil. We have now the National Oil Company, which will have the country's interests in the oil fields there. There's National Petroleum Authority, which is a regulator. So, I'm optimistic.
Like you're expecting guests at home, so you prepare.
Absolutely. I think we've done a good job.
All right. Talking still about that report, it warns of the rise in debt and, of course, the fall of the shilling, because the dollar is always strengthening day and night. Should we really be worried about this?
Well, first of all, the debt issue. The debt issue is a worry in as far as we've used this debt to build infrastructure.
Yes.
Now, if we had used that debt to build, to buy more cars for government officials, everywhere now, instead of having you'd have a Prado and then you'd have a Mercedes-Benz, or maybe we'd have cross-country Mercedes instead of Prados and Mercedes limousine, if we had, if we've done things that don't have a real return, we'd be worried. But the debt so far has gone towards infrastructure, which is roads.
Right.
As soon as you build a road, economic activity is generated. That economic activity can then be taxed, and therefore the money will be enough to pay the debt. So I think it's not a problem as long as the money is used for what it's supposed to do. And when the oil comes out, which will be the increased economic activity expected, especially in building up this infrastructure, among other things, the debt should not be a problem, because we'll have made enough more income to cater for the debt. I saw a statistic. I think about 10 years ago, we had debt servicing. I think we were doing debt servicing of about $100 million or something like that a year.
Wow.
But now we're doing much more than that, and no, it's not a panic situation. It just means that the economy has grown to meet our obligations. It shouldn't be a worry. What we would be worried about is if, as I said, this money was going to just frivolous stuff and stuff.
Yeah.
On the issue of the shilling, it's a big concern.
Yep.
It's a big concern, although when you look at it against debt, it's not a big concern, because if the shilling appreciates, then our debt becomes cheaper. So it's less money to pay off our debts. But it is a worry if the Uganda shilling becomes too strong. Then therefore, exports will lose competitiveness.
Absolutely.
People will be getting less shilling for the kilo of coffee they were getting.
Yeah.
So if, for example, at now it's $3,600 3,600 shillings to the dollar. So if a kilo of coffee, let's just hypothetically assume is $1, a farmer would be getting 3,600.
Right.
But if the shilling strengthens to 3-4, so the farmer misses his 200 shillings.
Yes.
Which will not be a good thing for our export campaigns.
Well, still in that report, it also talks about the economy, rather the country attaining middle income status by 2022. We look forward to that moment.
Well,
but I just
you're beyond middle income, so it won't really change your life. So
it will change people around me and maybe
hopefully
elevate me.
They'll ask you for less money.
Or
they'll now be giving you money.
Right, indeed. So that's it. Thank you so much, Paul.
You're welcome, Lynn.